welcome to episode 33 of my knitting podcast. I just filmed episode 32 yesterday. You will probably have been able to see that for a few days. The last episode is all about my Rhinebeck experience, but I'm also sharing some works in progress. So if you want to see what I've knitted out of the yarn that I bought there, feel free to go back. So it's not all about Rhinebeck. I'm also showing like my works in progress and the finished object that I didn't knit at Rhinebeck. I knitted it basically for Rhinebeck, so yeah, you can maybe check that one out if you want to. I am today filming, it is December the 6th, I think, and it is dark here. It is so dark outside. It is 5 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and yeah, it is a gloomy day today. Yesterday was absolutely beautiful, sky was clear, was so beautiful, and today it's cloudy and dark and it's not gonna get much lighter, but I quite like it. I didn't think I would. I was such a fan of the light summer days, but actually I find these dark winter days quite cozy. So at the moment when I'm not working, I spend a lot of time at home and I like to go swimming. So in Iceland we have swimming pools in almost every neighborhood, and I'm really taking advantage of that. So whenever it's a little bit weird. I plan the days that I have to wash my hair. I plan these days to go to the pool, which I love, so then I go for to swim some laps, and then I wash my hair later on, because when I go for a swim I basically always have to wash my hair and I don't want to do that daily. So yeah, I go maybe 2 or 3 times, maybe two times, 3 times per week if I manage with work, and I just love to be outside. The pools are heated and they're outside, so it is quite cold. The air temperature is quite cool, but then if you get into the water it is warmed. It's not like super boiling hot, so you still have to kind of like swim to get warm, but yeah, I do swim laps, and then later on I usually sit in a hot tub for a little while. I also have like a plunge bath where you sit in the cold water. I like to do that for a few seconds. I'm getting better. The more you do it, the better you get, so it's really cool. And then they also have like a steam sauna, because the air is quite dry, especially when you're inside. The houses, like we have the heating on all day, so the air is just very dry. But if you go to the steam sauna, like I feel like it's so good, and you feel so much better when you get out of the pool. So I absolutely love it. So I've been doing this mostly, working, going to the pool, and knitting a lot. And yeah, so here I am from a dark winter day in Iceland. I do have quite a lot of acquisitions in this episode. I will put them at the end, so don't worry. And that's it really, I think. Let's start with the knitting content. I'll tell you a little bit more during the episode. So the first finished update that I have today is the Take Your Time Slipover by Caidree. So that's the one that I'm wearing. I'm going to stand up so you can see it. And it is quite cropped. I wish I could go back further, excuse me. Ooh. So that's a slipover that I've knitted a few months ago. Actually, I think I have a picture on my Ravelry page where you can see it. There was an active volcano in the summertime, and so we went and hiked up there, and I was knitting a few rows next to the volcano, which was really impressive. So yeah, little memory with this slipover, but I absolutely love it. So I wear it mostly like how I'm wearing it now. So I bought a very nice blouse. Was searching for like the perfect basic blouse, and I found one in the store called Uniqlo. I'm sure you know it. It's a very it's just a very like mainstream fashion shop. And you can get it in the US and in Europe as well. So I bought this one, really happy with it because it just fits very well and it's easy to wash and easy to iron, which I like. And I mostly wear it like that, or sometimes I just wear it with like a long sleeve black shirt that I have that works as well. It is so nice. It's like perfect for the temperatures here, because I feel like even though it's quite cold outside at the moment, it's like 0 degrees, -2 maybe, the houses are still quite warm and we heat a lot. So our house is as warm as it is in the summer. Heating is very affordable in Iceland, so we don't really have to think about it. I know it's not the case in Europe at the moment. So yeah, we're very spoiled with that. And inside it's mostly too warm to wear something really thick and warm, especially if you go out for like a coffee or out to a restaurant. Like I thought I would get a lot of wear out of my woolens, actually not. So it's more actually something that I could wear more in the summertime and then just wear outside without a jacket. So this is perfect. I'm gonna knit another slipover soon. I will talk about it later during the episode. But this one is lovely. It's very basic. There's nothing special about it. It's just like a stockinette slipover. There's like some slip stitch over here at the V-neck. Over here. It is a little bit hidden because you don't really see that the stitches that well, because I used a Mohair with the main yarn. I'm not too sure what the pattern suggests, but I used the West Yorkshire spinners, the Croft Aran. The colorway is called Dalsetter, and then the Mohair is one from Aimée that I still had in my stash, that I almost used up with this project now. That's in the colorway Madeleine. Really love this project. Was so quick to knit. I used a 5mm needle, so yeah, was done within no time, and was a perfect stash buster because I also finished the West Yorkshire spinners, the Croft that I had left over from a vest that I knit for my mom last year. So last year I made the Livingstone vest for her, which unfortunately I don't have a proper picture of, but it's a lovely pattern by my friend Lily from Lily Kate Makes. And another one that I can totally recommend. I would consider making another one for me at some point. I just have a too long knitting list. But it's a really lovely slip over kind of. Yeah, it's like a vest that you have like a waist tie. So you can like tie it around you. It's really lovely and easy to knit as well. If you want to like try brioche knitting, that is a perfect pattern for that. I'll insert a picture so you can have a look at it. It's really nice and classy. Yeah, so that's what I'm wearing. That's my first finished object. Another finished object that I would like to show you, because I talked about it in episode 31, is the Abydos top by Lily. Again, a pattern by Lily Kate Makes. I love her patterns, and that's one that I test knitted for her. So the white version that I knit is actually the third one that I knit, which is really rarely that I knit so many versions in a row. So I knitted 3 of the Abydos tops in a row. The first one is a very lovely green one that I kept myself. The second one is another one that I kept for myself. It's a grey one. And then the third one is a white one, and that's one that I gave away to my sister. I'll insert a picture here so you can see my sister in it at her birthday. She loved it, I think, I'm pretty sure. She was really happy when she received it. I used some yarn that is a little bit less itchy. So the second version that I made was actually supposed to be for her, but I used some alpaca yarn, which was just a little bit scratchy, and I thought it wouldn't be the perfect yarn for her. So I kept the one the grey one for myself and made another one, and the white version is made out of the Sandnes Garn in collaboration with PetiteKnit, and it's the colorway whipped cream. And then the white Mohair that you can see around the yoke section, that's the Ito Sensai in a, I think it's just white as well. Again, it knits up fairly quick. You use 3.5 and 4mm needles, so it's done within no time. I think maybe it took me like a week or so. The only part that takes a little bit longer is like the part around the yoke. But even though it looks a little bit more complicated, it is actually super easy. Like a lot of fun to knit. It grows so quick because you use the bigger needles for the mohair sections. And yeah, I can totally recommend this pattern. I love knitting it, and actually I have more yarn here to make another one. Let me grab it. So I ordered some more yarn to make a black version because I saw the black version. So one of the test knitters had a black version. Can't remember who it was, but it looked so beautiful that I thought I need to make one. So I bought the double Sunday again just because it worked so well. This one's just a double Sunday in the color, oh, it just has a name, 1099, but it's basically like a black. And then I bought the Long Lace Mohair Super Kid Silk in, okay, this is also just a color code, I think. Yeah, but it's also just a black one. I really wanted to try this one because I heard such good things about this Long Lace, so I'm really interested to see how that works out. It is a little bit finer than the normal one, I believe, so 25 grams give you 310 meters, and like, let's say if you compare like a Knitting for Olive one, yeah, 25 grams give you only 225 meters, so it is a lot thinner, I would think. So I'm gonna be I'm gonna be interested in how to see how that works up, the black one. The only thing now is that Lily has released the the Abydos top also as a Abydos jumper. So she made another version where you just you knit longer sleeves. The yoke is the same. So I believe there's a discount code if you already have the Abydos top and you just like have the add-on for the sleeves, I believe. I'll make sure to look that up. I'll insert it here if it's true or not. So I'm thinking of ordering a little bit more of the black one because I think that would be a lovely wardrobe staple to have that in black as a jumper. And then you could just wear it with skirts or shorts. Lately I've been wearing a lot of my knitwear just out for dinner, and this is definitely one that you can like completely dress up and wear like super chic. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna order more of the black yarn and make a Abydos jumper instead of another top. Yeah, there you go. I've already sneaked in some acquisitions there. There's more. If you could see the mess next to me, you'd be surprised. It's a lot of yarn that I have added to my stash in the last few months. Okay, so this was the second finished object. Let's talk about the next two, and I'm just going to talk about two at the same time because they are the same. So I knitted 2 times the Oslo hat by PetiteKnit. So disclaimer from my side, I'm not the biggest fan of seeing always the same designer names, especially like the bigger names, even though I believe that their patterns are great. I personally like to also knit from other designers, or like the ones that I like Lily's one of my favorites, but there's some other designers that I really like. So I know people like get a little bit like bored of seeing constant PetiteKnit patterns, but it is for a reason that they're so popular. So yeah, I understand both sides. I knitted this hat now twice. because I liked the first one and my boyfriend liked it as well, so I knitted him a version, but now he's not too sure if he likes it. So let me show you the first one first. So this is the Oslo hat. Very, very simple, just a plain stockinette hat with like a folded brim. So you fold it over, it's actually double folded brim, so this fabric here is quite thick, so you have 3 layers of stockinette stitch. I didn't wear this one that much, but yeah, I'm not too sure if I like how it's holding up the shape. I think if you wear it a lot, I could imagine that this would look a little bit worn out. I think it lacks a little bit of structure, so I think I personally prefer maybe a hat with a little bit of ribbing as well. There we go, so let's put it on. Okay, this looks weird now. I don't like to wear my hair up. I prefer having like my hair down when I wear hats, but this is basically how it looks. It fits really well. There's no like slouch, so I personally, I think if I knit a hat again, I would make one with a little bit like a slouchy top. Just my personal preference, but it is a lovely hat. And I made 2 of those, so the second one is in this camel color. Made it for my boyfriend, and he's not too sure about it either, I think. It is lovely, it feels good. You have to like mohair though, because obviously you see the mohair when you're wearing the hat. You kind of see like the fibers of the mohair sticking out, so definitely not for somebody who doesn't like mohair. I haven't made a final decision yet whether I'm going to keep them or give them away. I've only worn this one maybe once or twice, and I'm not the biggest hat person at all, just because of how I wear my hair. So normally when it's cold I put my hair up because I don't like to have it like everywhere flying around, especially when it's really windy. But if you like hats, this one is basically just like a really standard, box standard beanie. Really nice, nothing special about it. Pattern is super easy to follow. For this one I used the Knitting for Olive Merino in, it's called Vinrod, so wine red. And then the mohair that I used here is like a Permin Angel that I bought in a yarn shop here. And then for this one, the brown one, I used a Knitting for Olive Merino in a camel colored, and the same color, no sorry, caramel, and then the color for the mohair was also a Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair in caramel as well. Both of them were finished a while ago. I bought some yarn to make another one, and now I'm thinking of maybe making something else with it. So I have some yarn here. There we go. Let's sneak in another acquisition. I have some yarn here. So I bought the green version, like green yarn. Actually, I just bought it because I had to return some yarn. I bought a little bit too much, and I thought, whilst I return, I just pick up some other color. Maybe I make a present out of it. Maybe I'm gonna make another hat. So this is just Knitting for Olive Merino, and the soft silk mohair in the color slate green. I just like the color basically. I like green. I think it goes normally quite well with my eye color, even though this one is quite dark. I don't know if you're... It is unfortunately so dark. It will be hard to show all the yarn in like the real color, just because it is... I can't get it light in here. I'm using some artificial lighting, but it's working so I think. Yeah, so this is the third finished object. Both of them are hats. And then I have a very big last finished object that I would like to share with you. It is the very popular half and half triangle wrap by Purl Soho. Yes, I made one, and I'm actually knitting a second one at the moment. It is for me the perfect pattern for something completely mindless. So that's a pattern, like a project that I have next to me if I'm, for example, just sitting after dinner. Normally we just sit at a table for another like 10, 15, 20 minutes where we just sit and chat, and then usually I just pick up something really easy to knit on. Just like, I like to be able to engage in a conversation, and sometimes if you knit something complicated I feel a little bit distracted, whereas with this one I don't feel distracted at all because it's just plain garter stitch. So I'll show it to you. There we go. Oh my god, it's so huge I can't show you the full one. Yeah. There we go. So I used the lighter color is, I have to look it up, the honey pink, and then this one is the turmeric yellow. It is huge, honestly. If you look at it, this is like really big, and then if you fold it over like you're supposed to, or like it's intended to, you can wrap it around you, and it is a very huge shawl. I do love to wear it. I've worn it quite a bit, and actually I'm using it a lot as a blanket. So when I'm like on the couch and I'm feeling a little bit cold, a lot of times when I want to have like a nap, I just wrap it around me, and it is so lovely. The garter stitch is so nice and squishy, and it keeps you so warm. Oh my god, I absolutely love it. So perfect if you want to wrap yourself up, and then also it looks really nice with like a nice coat or something. I'll insert a picture here. I was in Boston the other day, went for a walk, and yeah, there's a picture of me wearing it out and about. I do love it, and I have another one on my needles. The other one that I have is one made out of a woolly knit yarn, the British wool, that you can get either on the cone or in hanks. I bought some hanks, and then I ran out of yarn, and lovely Magda from PetiteKnit sent me a little bit of the cinnamon one. She actually sent me quite a lot of the cinnamon one. I still have some left over, but so this is the other version that I'm making out of the woolly knit yarn, and I'm using like the dark, I think it's called dark green apple or dark apple, and then this one is the cinnamon color. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. So when I ran out of the cinnamon color, the color that Magda sent me is a little bit of a different dialogue, but actually I don't think you'll be able to see it, especially in this big project. It won't really make a difference since it's like kind of wrapped around you, so I don't mind it at all. I'm so happy she sent me some, because at some point it was like sold out all the time on the website, so I just couldn't get my hands on it, and she offered to send me a little bit, which was a great help. Thank you, Magda. So this is another one that I'm just working on. I have like, usually I just put like a stitch marker along the middle core, so just like for me as like a little reference how much I make per day. At the moment it's like kind of a little put to the side because I have another project that I'm working on constantly, but this one was a nice yeah, it's really nice to just have next to you if you don't want to think about your knitting, if it's just something really mindless. This one I'm knitting on 4mm needles, metal needles, and actually the other one, the first version that I finished, I made that one on 3.5mm wooden needles. Just because I used it, I knitted a little bit on it when I was traveling as a passenger, and I wanted to make sure to have a project on wooden needles. But this one I'm knitting on the metal needles, and yeah, I love how quick you can knit on metal needles. I'm completely like obsessed with metal needles now. I rarely do have a project on my needles with wooden needles. So that's the half and half triangles wrap. I know it's a very popular pattern at the moment, or a lot of people are knitting it, and I totally understand why. It is a free pattern from Purl Soho, And there's another version that is also striped, so I'm thinking of maybe making one at some point with my leftovers, because I have quite a lot of leftovers of the linen quill, and it would work out perfectly. And I think I will have even more leftovers of the linen quill because I have another work in progress that doesn't use up the full skeins that I bought for it. I think that are all my finished objects. Let's continue with my whips. I do have a little whip parade, I think. No, actually there are not that many, because I showed you a few in my last episode, in the 32nd episode, in the Rhinebeck one, so I'm not going to talk about the same projects again, because I didn't make that much of a progress, but I will show you some other ones that I'm currently sort of working on. They're a little bit on hold, but yeah, let's start with the first one. The first finished object, the first work in progress is actually a half finished object, basically. So these are the Under the Tree socks by Locatelli. So I finished the first one. The tail of the first 50 grams is still attached, and there you are. They're not blocked yet. They're a little bit loose. I'm kind of like, I've got a proper second sock syndrome with this one. I just started the toe and then I got distracted. Yep. They don't take out that much time because they're made out of like a DK, it's like a mix between DK sock, sport weight sock yarn. This one is an Icelandic yarn, or actually it is, yeah, it is Icelandic yarn. It's spun in Italy, I believe. So this is by Hélène Magnusson. It's her sockaband. It's, as I said, DK or sport weighted, like in between. It's 100% sock yarn, so no nylon. I can't find the labels. I believe mine is like an older version of this yarn. Or a newer version? I can't remember what it exactly was, but I think the one that I bought has a little bit of a different, there's something else in the yarn, like 5% or something, but basically it's just a pure 100% woolen yarn. There's maybe some different fiber in there, can't remember, but it is a lovely yarn to work with. It is quite rustic. It's not for somebody who is sensitive to woolly yarn, but I love the feel of it, and I think it will soften up quite a bit when you wash it and block it. The pattern is one from Locatelli. I started the first one in I think August or September when her fall knit along started, and I was really like, I had signed up for a lot of her patterns to knit, and yeah, I didn't manage my time so well. I didn't have that much time to knit, so I kind of just made half of one sock and then just stopped. And all the other projects that I signed up to, I didn't even touch. I started the Lacy and Fade boxy sweater, but yeah, again, I didn't have time to knit it, and I have like the cast on my needles, and I will eventually pick it up when I have time. So this is the first half finished object, half work in progress. Eventually I will knit the second one. I just have to find the time, and just like, so sometimes I feel like when you put down a work in progress halfway and you don't quite remember where you stopped, it really takes a lot of like effort to pick it up again. I then rather sometimes just cast on something new, which is really stupid because I've put quite a lot of work in this project. So yeah, I should really get on with this. I will, I promise, at some point. No, I really want to finish it because I feel like at the moment I do have a lot of projects kind of on my needles, but I'm not working on them, and I feel like I feel almost like guilty of not continuing to knit on them whilst I cast on new projects. So the second work in progress is one that you probably have seen in a lot of podcasts before, especially only during the last few months. And it's the Twist and Turns MKAL by Stephen West. I participated the second time at this MKAL, and this time I didn't quite keep up with the clues. just because I had to knit on different projects and I just couldn't keep up with it. It was quite a lot of knitting, so I only finished Clue 1 and I'm currently working on Clue 2. I don't have that much left of Clue 2, but I've put this one a little bit on hold just whilst I'm knitting on my boyfriend's cardigan that I showed you in the last episode. I feel like this one needs a lot of thinking as well, and yeah, I just want to concentrate on the cardigan whilst I'm knitting on it, and then later on I will continue with this one. So here we go. No spoiler alert because it's way too late. So this is Clue 1. It looks a little bit like bat wings at the moment. And Clue 2 here, these striped sections, and then I've already started to pick up the stitches and started to knit the first few rows here for the cabled section that comes here. I love how it's knitting up so far. I can definitely see myself wearing it. It will be quite a big shawl because you'll have to extend it even further. So it's almost a little bit like a little bit more like a scarf, I would say. But it also will grow a little bit further down. So yeah, I haven't quite decided yet if how I'm gonna do the lower part, if I'm gonna knit the whole thing, or whether I finish it up a little bit early and just do like a smaller border here. But I think I will probably make the bigger version just because, yeah, I just want to see how it looks like. I like a big shawl, and I think this would be lovely in like spring and autumn time when it's not quite too cold. You can wear it with like a leather jacket and just wear this as like a little bit of a statement piece. I do love to wear the one that I made last year, my twist and turns. No, sorry, what was it called? Shellography. I do love that one, even though at the beginning I wasn't too sure about it either. So I'm just going with the flow. I think this will be lovely. The yarn that I used is the Linnen Quill by Purl Soho. This one is the Stonewall Grey. Then the black one is Kettle Black, and the pink one here is Litchi Pink. And I'm holding it double with a strand of Mohair. So this is the Isaya yarn silk mohair in a pink colour. It's a colour code. You will see it on my project page if you go there. There's a lot of markers here. I've literally just attached some markers here because I constantly needed more markers, so I just put a few markers here to just be able to pick them up when I need them. The first section was a lot of work, a lot of knitting. These little 3D knit stitches are created by like cast on and bind offs. So can maybe undo a few here. So these are like little worms almost. I call them worms. So that you create by casting on and binding off, and then later on you just loop them through to create these 3D knit stitches. They look very nice. They're not so much fun to work on, I'll be honest, but I think the look is really cool, and yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing this at some point. I'm not putting myself under any pressure for this one, just because I have so many other projects that I really want to work on as well. So I'm just taking it easy. I've put this one sort of a little bit on hibernation. I'm using the needles at the moment on my cardigan, on the Olympia cardigan that I'm knitting. So I can't knit on this unless I take the needles out of the other one. So I just put this one on the side, and once I finish the cardigan I can maybe think about picking this up again and finishing this. But I've done a lot of knitting on this, so yeah, I'm excited to finish this at some point. Even though I haven't podcasted for such a long time, I actually didn't finish that many projects because this is sort of what happened over the last months. I've been just casting on, and even though I worked quite a bit on a lot of projects, I just didn't finish any of these, or like only a few, and mostly small projects. So I'm just distracted by all my whips. So yeah, I just have to finish them at some point to like make space and finish some other ones that I that I really want to finish. Like this one is one that I really want to finish. I don't want to like put it on the side. Overall, I quite like the shawl. I know it's like a little bit, some people really don't like it. I quite find it looks quite cool. I like the stripes. It's not what I expected by the name of the knit along. I would have expected much more cables. It's okay. I don't mind it. I think that's part of the MKAL, right? You don't know what's gonna come. I usually just watch as soon as the next clue came out, I just watched the end straight away. I'm too curious, so I don't wait until the end, because I quite like to see how I want to like place my colors. But overall, yeah, I'm quite happy with it. The next work in progress is one that I just picked up just started a few days ago. And this one is not a knitting project, but a crocheting project. I started this one a little bit, not a little bit, just because I've got a lovely advent calendar. So a few podcasters that I know, we have like a little chat group where we just like show each other patterns that we like, and we talk about podcasting and all sorts of things. And we were talking about advent calendars, and Lisa from And So On had the brilliant idea of doing an advent swap. And if you have a knitting friend, I totally recommend doing that. If you for next year, instead of, or maybe in addition of buying an advent yarn calendar, you could just send yourself like the leftovers that you have. So that's what we did. We said there were not like clear rules. We just sent somebody in our group, so we were like assigned like swap partners. We just sent them leftover yarns from our stash. So I prepared a calendar for Mecca. She's currently away, so I will ship it to her a little bit late, but she will get it in mid-December. So I received one calendar from Knitting, from Natasha and Petra. They sent it to me. It is in this box, and I haven't opened my yarn from today. I thought I'd leave it for this episode. So there's a lot of bags in here with little lovely yarn balls. So I just took one out, take it back, excuse me for the noise. I like what I see. Oh, lovely. Oh, today I have Holst Super Soft. It's 50% Merino, 50% Shetland in Sweet Pea, a little ball, and I will be adding that to my granny stripe blanket. So here we go. This is what I've done so far. It is very, very big. So I cast on, this is the granny stripe blanket by, there's like a recipe on her blog. It's called Lucy of Attics 24, and she just gives you a free pattern on her website. It is huge and very, very long. I've cast on 360 stitches, and that is, I just measured it before filming because I thought it would be interesting to see how big it is. It is just under 2 meters wide, so it will be fitting perfectly on a king bed, I believe that's what you call it. Like our bed is 180, so it will be overlapping a little bit, so that's maybe the idea. Otherwise I might just put it on the couch and just have it like a huge blanket there. We have a granny stripe blanket there that my partner's mother made, and it's really lovely to have it on the couch. So I thought maybe I'm gonna make another one, or I'm gonna make it for the guest bedroom, because actually the guest bedroom is my yarn room. So I'm sitting here in the middle of a big chaos, but I have like my yarn stash here, and I have like my knitting books here. I have a little desk here, and then there's a guest bed in this bedroom. So it might just live here because it would be quite suitable in my yarn room to have this blanket. But obviously this is going to take a lot of time. So whilst I love working on it, I don't think this will work out very quickly because I'm just adding like 20 or 10 grams per day very slowly, just adding them slowly, and just using up the Advent that I got from Natasha and Petra, and then I'm also using up some scraps of mine, just because I do have a lot of, when I went through my scraps or my leftovers to make a calendar for Mecca, I realized how many leftovers I actually have, and quite a lot of, like 20, 30, 50 grams. So I try to give her a bit of that yarn that I have a lot of, also like some special yarn, and then I kept a fair bit as well just for my blanket, so I will add it as well. So yeah, but I do love how this is working up. This is going to be so colorful, and I will probably not remember every yarn, especially the yarns that that they sent me, Natasha and Petra. I will probably not remember which yarns they sent me and which one it is, but I will remember like special yarns in here that have like a special colorway or remind me of a project that I worked on, and I'm looking forward to, yeah, just working on it. This will probably take, I would say, probably a year or so, so no pressure. I'll just keep it close to the couch and work on it whilst whenever I have nothing else on my needles. This is super mindless, it's super easy to follow. I'm using a 3.5 millimeter hook from Tulip that my partner got me this set last year, and I've never used it, which is a real shame because they are lovely to work with. So 3.5 millimeters is the hook that I'm using for like the normal cluster stitch. I used a 4 millimeter hook for the first two rows, just because I wanted to make sure it's really stretchy, and I think it was a good idea. So initially I started with less stitches, and I just used the same hook, and I could see that like my cast on was much tighter. So I ripped it out again and started from scratch and used a bigger hook for the first two rounds, and I totally think this was worth the extra work. I do love this project, and I'm actually having another project like that, very similar, in my two knit list, actually two crochet lists. Oh, forgot to show you. They also include a tea bag in here. So this is, oh, I can't read it. Red orange with quince. Interesting. I'm gonna have that later. I do like trying new teas. Yeah, so I'm gonna have that later, and I do love this Hold Super Soft. I think they had a cone. I remember seeing their podcast, and I think they had a cone of this one. And I think they made like a sweater or cardigan out of it. I remember that. So yeah, lovely color as well. And I do have a lot of Hold Super Soft myself, so I will probably add that as well later at some point throughout the blanket. Yeah, another two crochet project that I have here ready, lined up. You might be able to see it over here. So this is my Advent from last year. Can you see it? It is, unfortunately, I've put it on a string, and it's all very fragile. It's a very fragile construction. You wouldn't want to know how I put that up here. Can you see it? It's like a fade of minis. So these are 24 minis that I've got last year. I don't remember the dye. If I find out the dye, I will let you know. My boyfriend got me that yarn calendar last year, and it is quite like, it's a complete color fade. It goes from like pink into purple, blues, turquoise, green, yellows, orange into pinks again. So it's a complete fade, and I had planned to make a like a huge like blanket with it, and I thought I will make I wanted to add some yarn that really works with the fade. So I bought 4 skeins of the Uncommon Thread, and that's a grey fade. I found that one in a lovely yarn shop here that I love to go to. There we go. And so the idea is I might add another lighter skein at the end. I'm sure they'll have more at the yarn shop where I went to. And I will add, so what I'm thinking of doing is I have 480 grams of, yeah, I think I have 480 grams of minis here. So I will add 20 grams, I will try to get like the almost the perfect amount of 20 gram stripes, and then add a 20 gram mini, and then like make it like quite organized, not like my blanket, the scrappy one. I want to make that a little bit more professional, if you want to say so, a little bit more organized. So this is one acquisition, and that's one of my 2 crochet lists. That's going to be like a year-long project as well for next year. No pressure, I will start on it at some point in January and just slowly work on it. It will just take a little bit of time to figure out the perfect like amount of stitches, but actually I think I will be able to figure that out on my blanket now that I'm making, so I can just measure how long 20 grams will take me, how many clusters, and then I can figure out how many stitches I want to cast on to make that the yarn really work for like the whole 20 grams, if that makes sense. You know what I mean, I hope. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Yeah, so that's one project on my knit to crochet list. I don't have any more works in progress, so let's talk about my plans, or my knitting plans. I do have a few. I have yarn. I've bought, I don't know what happened to me over the last months. I've been buying yarn like, I don't know why. I've been working a lot over the summer, and then I kind of like was rewarding myself with buying yarn. I guess that's okay, right? But I kind of have to stop now because I'm running out of space. My cupboard is full, and I do have so many projects lined up that I really need to stop buying more yarn. I do have a little more yarn coming that I ordered, but that is for a specific project that I'm probably gonna delay into next year, because I was going to make a big shawl for my boyfriend, but since he's getting such a complicated cardigan, I will leave this shawl for next year, for next winter, and maybe I'll just work on it during the summer when I have time, and then I have it ready in the winter. So the yarn that I bought for my next project that I want to cast on, or one of my next project, is the Semilla Melange by Garn, I believe. Yeah, it's a German company, but the yarn is made in Turkey. It's got certified, 100% organic wool, and it is yeah, it is a beautiful color, like a rustic color. I will probably make this for next autumn. I'm thinking of making the Savoring Shawl by Hannah Lübben. Actually, I have the pattern, I bought the pattern, and I will make this one. It's just a question when I will have time to cast this on. You see, there's a common theme, I don't have time. But I wanted to knit this one. She had a knit along during October and November, and I thought, oh, I could just knit that in that time, but I never managed to cast it on because I got the yarn a little bit later than I thought I would, and then yeah, it was always too late, and I didn't manage to cast on this in time. So maybe I delayed until next autumn, or maybe I just do it throughout the year. Not too sure yet. But I have enough yarn to make the big version of her shawl. I'll insert a picture for you so you can have a look at her Savoring Shawl pattern. It looks lovely, and I think this would, yeah, this is right up my street, this color, like a rustic, rust orange brown. Absolutely lovely. The next yarn that I bought, sorry, we just went into acquisitions, I hope you don't mind. The next yarn that I bought is Sorella yarn. Had an Oopsie sale, and I saw that sale once on Fernanda's podcast. She was the first one that I heard talking about Sorella yarn, and so I went on her website and she had these mohair bundles. So I thought, why not treat myself to some nice mohair? I do hope that the quality is good, but it looks very nice to me. And I asked for like a muted, maybe fade, and that's what I've got. And it is so beautiful. I absolutely love it. This is quite pinkish. This is like a variegated pink. There's a little bit of yellow, brownish in there, a little bit of purple, and there's like a darker brown. And I could either fade, like do a fade, or I could use it, this one on one project and this one on another one. But yeah, these 50 gram skeins, I think they really last a long. Like, they have so much yardage in there, so I'm looking forward to using this. I do have a few ideas in my mind. So I bought the pattern for the Johan hat by Hannah Lubben, and I'm thinking of casting this on with maybe another yarn that I bought. Let me grab it. There we go. That's another kind of mystery yarn that I bought. So Explorer and Fiber, they had a Leave No Trace collection, which is basically yarn that didn't make their standards. So they're selling it, and then part of the income will be donated to a national park. So I bought some yarn there just to try out the yarn, because I've seen it on Instagram quite a few times and I really wanted to see how it looks in real life, and I was not disappointed. One skein I've already given away as a gift for Christmas, but here I have the other 3. They're so lovely. So I bought a mixed color set of cashmere, Calvin sock, which is an 80% superwash merino, a 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. It's a fingering weight yarn, and these colors are just so beautiful. So I figured out that, so this one is from the Ireland collection, I believe. At least it says it, the label says it. So I think this one is My Guinness and this one is Woodruff. And they're 2 beautiful colors. And then the third color, I think this must be the macchiato color. I tried to find it out on their website and on Ravelry. And this is sort of like the closest that I got, so I think, yeah, these colors are the ones that I got. It doesn't really matter, but I was thinking of making the Johan hat by Hannah Lubben. I bought the pattern the other day, and I might pair it with this one. This would be lovely. And to make like a big slouchy beanie, I would make it a little bit longer, probably like with a bigger, like slouchy hat. I'm thinking, sorry, some noise there. I'm thinking of making that, so yeah, I'm not too sure yet, but this is an idea. And then some more yarn that I bought is the Life in the Long Grass Highland Decay. There we go, that's the one. In the color Sunkissed. It's a DK weight yarn, 100% untreated Highland wool DK. It's a mixture of corriedale and merino. It feels super nice. I think it will soften up a little bit with washing. It is not scratchy at all, but yeah, you can tell it's non-superwash. And I bought this yarn at a shop in England. If you ever need to buy yarn, I can totally recommend Tangled Yarn in Romley. They are so good. Rachel, the owner, she's like so helpful. It was a little bit of a mess with my yarn because I wanted to send it to have it shipped, but then Aimée was on strike and she was extremely helpful with this order. And I was also wanting to go and visit her in, I think, October, but unfortunately my flight got delayed and I didn't manage to get there in time, so I didn't couldn't go and visit her there. But you can like make an appointment with her in Romley, and I can totally recommend. Like, her customer service is perfect, and I will definitely buy yarn there again if I ever need to buy more yarn, which I doubt, but I will probably do. I think that's it for the acquisitions. Oh, one more yarn that I wanted to show you is some yarn that I had in my advent calendar. I've already wound it up. I'll insert a picture of how it looked when it wasn't wound up. It's beautiful. This is from Laying Cable Yarn. It's a hand-dyed self-striping sock yarn, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It's called My Mrs. Santa's Sister. It is absolutely lovely. I actually already cast on the sock. I wanted to make like a sock tube and just knit and knit and knit. But I used 2.5mm needles, and I just didn't like the gauge it was giving, so I will probably try to knit it on smaller needles and see how that goes. But I have delayed this project now a little bit because I have too many whips, and I think I just need a little break of casting on. So I'm not sure if I'll do it this year, since I already have like one advent project on my needles. I might do it during the year or next December, not too sure. I do have another pair of self-striping sock yarn up there that I wanted to knit during this advent, and I didn't make it either. Yeah, I just have too much yarn. I will be honest with you. So I'm doing my best to use up more yarn of this. I was thinking of putting myself on a ban to buy more yarn in next year, but I don't think this will work out well because I know myself too well. I think I'll just try to be a little bit more conscious with my shopping decisions, because it went a little bit overboard over the last months and I've just brought too much yarn into the house. So I will try to slow it down a little bit and just finish some stuff and use up some yarn that I have lying around, and not buy more for future projects, because I feel a bit drowned by the amount of yarn that I bought lately. So I'll give it a rest, I think, and see how it goes and use up my stash, because I do have such lovely yarn here. I have so much Icelandic wool here that I want to use, and I definitely will cast on more of, like, I will cast on something with the Icelandic wool that I have here very soon. Speaking of the Icelandic wool, I just wanted to quickly mention the Unspunheroes KAL that is running until the 31st of January. Amongst a few podcasters, we were talking about making a very open KAL, so this is the Unspunheroes KAL. It is currently running. I haven't started anything yet, and I kind of don't know whether I will make something during the KAL. I do have some project lined up, and I have enough of the Petite to make a full sweater out of it, so I might do. But if you want to participate, you can just use the hashtag Unspunheroes KAL. There's no prizes, I believe, but there's quite a few podcasters who are knitting something out of unspun yarn. So anything like Petite, Nutiden, or what else is there? Manchelope from Spain. There's a lot of different kinds of unspun yarn, so you can just use whichever you want and then participate in the knit along and have a little bit of inspiration through the hashtag Unspunheroes KAL. Yeah, this is all my knitting content I wanted to share with you. Quite a bit. It's quite a long episode already. I hope I will be back before Christmas. This year I will be spending Christmas in New York, which is really exciting. I have a work trip and I will be in New York for a few days over the holidays, and then I will be spending January in Iceland. I have a little bit of holidays as well, so I'm thinking of going on a road trip and just travel a little bit along, like through the country, and just taking it really easy. My plan is to just spend a lot of time relaxing because I have quite a busy end of January, February coming up with a lot of work. So I really want to just relax and enjoy my winter vacation and really recharge my batteries, because this year has been quite intense. Moving country again in February this year was quite a lot of work, and I'm finally feeling like I'm getting settled in my new home. everything is set up now, everything we need we have, but yeah, I feel like a little bit tired of this whole year. It was a lot of work, and it was a lot of work to get to the point where I'm at. I'm really happy. This is like perfect where I'm at now. I'm really happy that we did the move to Iceland. I'm extremely happy to be being back, but I need a little bit of time off work, just for a few weeks to just recharge my batteries and really just chill out and do nothing. So looking forward to that. Initially the plan was to go abroad and somewhere sunny, but actually when we checked the prices and when we checked how long it takes us to travel somewhere sunny, we were thinking, well, you know what? We live in a country that like is really beautiful. Why don't we make the best out of it and just travel here? Even though it will be a little bit dark, I think you can still have a lovely time, and that means a lot of cozy knitting time. So looking forward to that. I will share a little bit of that in my next episodes, I'm sure. Try to film a little bit more, like a few more snippets. But other than that, I have nothing else to tell you. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Until then, keep on knitting, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye!